and the normal disclaimer. We are not professionals. We're not tax advisors. We're not bankers. We're just plain old folk who are talking amongst ourselves, giving out our opinion. Again, we're not financial advisors. Please consult your own financial advisors. Discuss what we've talked about. Do a little research. We are not responsible for your decisions. We are just talking amongst ourselves. Was that you?
That was not me.
Okay. We are just talking amongst ourselves. So that being said, now I've got a little bit more. So when you come in the room, you're automatically muted. So when you star 6, it's going to tell you unmuted. So please star 6 again to mute yourself, which I think most of you have done. The background noise is perfect. None. So let me... Okay. Well, here, everybody stop what they're doing, and I'll fix the problem. Just a second.
Okay.
Okay, so nobody do anything. Everybody's muted. So let me do a little housekeeping here first. I sent an email. This is a no bash call. Last call I did, I fell underneath the bus and lowered myself to a position that I shouldn't have, and I threw Ray underneath the bus. It was wrong. I have sent an email to Ray inviting him to come on the call and join us. Now, whether he does or not is his choice. If he did come on the call, there's still no bashing of Ray. We're all adults here, and we're here to share information amongst ourselves. I'm not going to be doing any bashing anymore, and not even in jest, because we're all trying to get to the same place. I think that covers it. So I'm sure somebody will relay this to Ray, but he's welcome anytime. We're not poaching anybody from his site. It's a free site that they come over their own volition. That's just how it is. So I wanted to say that. Anyway, Blondie, I think that you wanted to say something, and then you had our first caller that you wanted to bring in. I'm turning it over to you.
Okay, well, I think we have a lot of new callers, probably a lot of new callers on the call since we had our first call. And so I just kind of wanted to say a few things like we're kind of really laid back here, and we are always politically incorrect. So if that offends you, this may not be the call for you. And we just pretty much call it like we see it. And so with that being said, I need to go into...
What's the date? What's the date today?
January 15th.
What year?
2016.
Thank you.
Okay, so I need to clarify something. If you can believe this, there is another Blondie out there, and she is being quoted in recaps and a couple other places. I just want to clarify, that is not me. That is not me. I don't post in any blogs. You know, I'm in a chat room or two, but I'm no guru or anything like that, so that is not me. But here's what's going to happen. I am going to hunt that lady down if it takes me to the ends of the earth, because she stole my name. And I am going to sit her down in a chair and speak to her so sternly and say, I can't believe you stole my name. And I guarantee you, after that conversation, she's going to change her name. Anyway, I'm kidding. Oh, and the other thing that we do not do birthdays here. In this call, we don't do birthdays. And here's the main reason why. And I hate to break it to you all. No one cares if it's your birthday. Sorry, people. Your mother doesn't care if it's your birthday. In fact, she wishes she could forget your birthday. Believe me, I'm a mother, and that was a painful day. I wish we could move our birthdays to the next day. At any rate, that was kind of just a little joke. Get things lightened up here. So there you have it. And so we're going to have our first guest, Martha, if you would come on in and kind of give us a little intro, and then I think we have another guest that's going to join you.
I'm in.
IKO.
Hello.
Oh, Martha. Okay, well, honey, you take it away.
In. Yep. Take it away. Did IKO come in at all?
Dear, is he?
Is IKO around or no?
He's good. He's going to be here.
I just got here.
Oh, good. Okay, great. All right.
IKO, you're late. Go to the corner.
Okay.
Now stop that.
I'm gonna
Be nice.
I'm gonna eat
right,
my
you
ice
guys-
cream sandwich and listen. So.
Okay,
I'm
you guys take it
eating
away.
cookies. Okay. I guess everybody is curious as to what happened, what didn't happen, right? So, IKO, you want to start?
Well.
I think.
Okay. So here's what I'm hearing. We definitely didn't get the sanctions officially released. However, there's about 100 ships in the Persian Gulf who think they're going to get released any minute. What I'm observing is clusters of tankers around Iranian ports, but nobody at the docks. I'm observing lots of support vessels at the docks, like tugs and crew, ferries, and just various other things, a whole cleaning boats. I mean, you name it. Everybody's sitting there waiting for it to go, and I believe what they're waiting for is their letters of credit, because that's how they do this. They get a letter of credit. Everybody agrees to the price for the cargo on both sides of the ocean. They sign off on the letter, and everything's done against the letter, and then when the product is delivered, everybody gets paid. So they're waiting on the letters. There are just too many boats up there. I mean, there were no boats up there last week. None. Zero. Now we've got over 100 at least, just in tankers. There's bulk carriers up there, et cetera. So they're all waiting for it to pop. They wouldn't have spent, 50 to 100 grand a boat to as Elmer said, I loved it, to go up and have a boat party. So that's that piece. And the AIIB set the correct letters, which was also supposed to go into effect today, appears to have sort of gone into effect, but will probably not be completed until the middle of the weekend. Of course, the big conversation is when Iran are they eyeing after the RV? Are they eyeing at the same time? In other words, are they reinstituting their currency at the same time, or are they going first and forcing parity in the region, and the RV will follow? To me, those are the highlights. Martha, what do you have?
Well, remember what I said to you. I still think, first of all, I think we're waiting for some announcements, and I think it has to be done, even with Iran, it has to be done by the United States that sanctions are being lifted, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It has to come out officially. I know there were articles otherwise. At the same time, Iraq has to make a formal announcement via the U.S. or the UN, whoever, okay? Now, sitting here over the weekend is the AIIB, and I wouldn't be surprised if we now find out that the Chinese yuan is gold-backed.
I don't want to
think about that. Well, it's sort of lining up. Let's just say we know we need that, okay? And then
Well, that's one way to hush a woman.
Martha disappeared.
I think she dropped off. I think she hit a button because she's technology challenged and cut herself off.
I don't know. I got out, but for some reason I got back in here. I'm still thinking Tuesday or Wednesday as far as us possibly getting ready to go into the bank. Okay?
Right.
I still think that once the AIB has their big meeting, this is their first one, I think we need that announcement about the gold. Also, I see gold is not doing too much. It's still hovering in, the 1,000 range?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's going to come down. But I like the idea that oil is coming way, way down.
Yeah, oil is. That's what's going on.
Now, that's what we want. I hate to tell you this, but China bought it, has a contract rate for it at 20. Think that's telling us something?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, when you go to exchange, there is a $20 contract rate, and I believe that's for oil. I think at one time it was, 32? But no, it's 20. It's 20. So look, we've hit it twice. We've hit the 38 for Iraq on that, for the U.S. that way. But then there's a $20 rate out there for actually on the Vietnamese thing via, for China. But I think you're going to see some things happen here first. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying the 20th. And a lot of other people, I guess, we're thinking the same thing, not just me. So I don't think it's going to happen over the weekend. Now, Monday is a holiday completely. Our stock markets are totally closed, and the banks are totally closed. So we'll see what happens.
Well, what I find interesting
it's just a guess.
I know, but it's also the folks who do a lot of research, read a lot of articles, and I'll put you in that category.
Mm-hmm.
They are all leaning toward the 20th. Tish Washington, who's popular on the TNT site, and other places, she's also highly researched, and she's been saying since last week she thinks it's going to be Tuesday. So, you got I'm on the other end. I'm on the maverick, emotional. It looks like a duck and smells like a duck. Let's turn it into a duck. Just from through brute force. Ever since this shipping factor came into play, I'm looking at it because I'm a waterman. I look at it through that filter, and I know how shipping companies. I know how marine engineers and mariners and ship captains and all those guys how they think. They're very, very 1 + 1 = 2, and if you don't like it, get off my boat. It amazes me that they have dedicated this much money and resource to sitting around for another 3 or 4 days. That doesn't add up for me. So that's why I'm kind of bullish on all of a sudden these ships they're just going to start moving in toward the ports and start pumping. They're certainly poised to do that. They've loaded.
Did I just read that one ship is already loaded in the room?
I wonder if that was me reporting that.
I think it might have been you.
Yeah, there was a super tanker, a big monster, a 1,500-footer that pulled into Carg Island. It would have been early this morning their time, so it was about 15 hours ago. And the boat tied up to the big pier there on the island. Even though it's an island, it's also like it's a spigot for oil. and stayed tied up for about 7 hours. So at 100,000 gallons an hour, 100,000 barrels an hour, that was 700,000 barrels. That was probably 25% of her capacity. And then it left. So, it didn't load any deeper. They give you the stats of the boat, and they tell you how low it's sitting in the water. Tell you what to draft. So if it goes in one draft, and then it goes out in another draft, that means it either offloaded or onloaded. But when they're that big, they also take on seawater so that they don't break apart. They don't literally crack in half. So it's hard to tell if that boat went in, loaded oil, and left, or didn't. So it's a crapshoot, still a crapshoot. But they did process one tanker, that's for sure. But only one out of about 120. So there you go.
IKO, I wonder if we're going to hear about possibly what we talked about, Japan becoming a member once they're in their meeting.
Oh, you know what? I haven't.
I'm wondering what else is going to come out of that meeting this weekend. That's all.
And then we really are on our own, right? That's it.
That's it. We're down. We're definitely. I mean, there was a lady who called in and asked on the call about the market, how would it affect that, and and Ray Ren was good about it, but he he didn't sort of link it, and he admitted he didn't. But I'm going to be honest and say that it is a definite factor in this whole thing. Remember what I said last week? I knew there would be another week of this. They stopped enough to let the president do his thing, and now we're in the last final stages of this again. And again, to recover, if you figure it took till 2 Wednesdays, right? Started 1 week, and then we came back to Wednesday of this past week, and it's probably going to take all the way through again a solid week for this to clear up again.
Right.
So, again.
Well, I hate illogic, but I can't refute it.
No, you can't. I mean, hey, like I said, it's a synopsis, and it's just a guess, and it's let's see what happens. I mean, I don't want to bust their bubble for the weekend, but then Ray Ren sort of did a little bit about the weekend. Remember, and then someone called in and said, I hope it's Tuesday because it's my birthday.
Right.
So,
right.
All right, we'll leave that alone. Okay.
All right.
So I guess the market has the market gone down to 500 again or no? I haven't been watching here.
I heard 470 last.
Okay,
but I've been in the car for an hour and a half, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think Blondie has a guest that she wants to bring in. Let's bring her in and see how things are going to go here. Blondie? Oh, please don't tell me she abandoned me already. That would.
Do you want me to back
up? Of course,
out?
I would. No. Just hold there. Blondie?
Text 2007 question. Jerry?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I don't know what happened there. Trish, are you here?
And then after Trish, then Tex.
Hi, I'm really not a guest. I just had a couple of questions for Martha and possibly IKO. Hi, Martha and IKO. Thanks for taking the time today. We appreciate it. I'm referring to you the other day when we were on the call and you were talking about the 120 days that General Dunford is going to be taking over as president, and then on 120 days there would be an election. 4 months isn't much time to get candidates together, so they must have candidates in mind. Do you know who those candidates are?
I read it somewhere. It doesn't mean I don't know who it is, and I haven't been able to find my papers again. All right? It's someone that I don't know, and I don't think you would know, but it's someone they sort of handpicked. I believe what they had planned was Dunford was to hold the position until there was an election, okay? And the deal was that the election would not be an electronic election. It would be hand ballot, paper.
And you're talking about, sounds like you're only referring to one candidate.
I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly, there was one name. I can't remember who it was, okay? And it's changed so many times here, you know, with generals and this whole thing. But again, until this happens, I would, you know, how do you want me to explain this? Take it with a grain of salt for the moment, but let's pray it happens.
Do you think it has to happen before the release of the? That's
what originally I thought it would be that way, that the RV would come after. Now I don't know. I think the RV is going to happen right now.
And you had said that it could happen. General Dunford Obama would be gone in a few days, possibly, or a week.
He would make an announcement, okay, and that's why I'm wondering. I had a thought about the 20th. The 20th is every 4 years is Inauguration Day. Think about that, where the president, actually, he reaffirms his oath to the Constitution. What a better time to have him break away and introduce a temporary new government.
Well,
I'm just guessing. It's just a thought, okay? That's all I'm thinking.
Oh,
and
it's not
again,
something that you have any evidence?
No, I have no. It was just an interesting thought when I was doing some research about the whole thing. And I thought, God, the 20th.
Well,
the starting point for a lot of things. So,
do you know if Dunford will have any power or be able to make any changes in those 120 days?
I believe, I'm not sure how that's going to work, honestly. I don't. I have no idea the whole thing.
Then
this has been floating around for so long already, you know.
Oh, but now it's to be taking up more of a form, you know. It
is. You're right.
There's more talk about it, more people posting about it, not just reading other people.
Not just me. I know. Of course, I have always honored TNT's request not to, go into any of the conspiracy stuff, and sure enough, it's all up there, and I've skirted it. Originally, I was under the impression, you're right, that the RV would actually come after that whole thing. But now it seems that it will happen first, and then everything will follow. But again, this whole thing is still part of what we'll call the Nacera plan. And the fact that China, the BRICS, and the Dragon family are trying to reinstitute a gold standard for everybody.
And I hear that they want this change because the people you just mentioned do not really trust our government and the leaders of our government, and they don't trust them to not somehow finagle this money away from us.
Well, I did some more homework, and I would love to be able to really blow the whole conversation open. I'm not sure today's the right day because we seem to all be focused right now on the RV. But I had suggested that everybody who can read, go into actually Google.
Hey, Martha.
What, hon? What?
If we're still here next Tuesday.
You want to dedicate that? Fine.
Yeah, we'll dedicate a Tuesday call starting at 2 or 3:30 Eastern. To this subject, okay? Because we can really get off into this, but
we can really get off on this. Is right, yeah.
Right. So let's go ahead and just table this a little for Tuesday if we're still here.
All right. Yeah. I was going to ask you what to Google what, but I can wait
that's
for
okay.
them.
Actually, I have asked Blondie to put out a brief little reading list. Okay.
Okay.
Of information. I sent some of it to her. I don't know if you were a member of TNT. If you read The Creature from Jekyll Island, the last 3 chapters tell it all.
Yeah, it's a pretty scary book.
Yes, it is.
Confession.
Yeah, well, Blondie dropped the ball on that one, but I'll pick it up.
No, that's all right. I sent you the list. Yeah, that's okay. No, that gives them more time then. I also redirected certain websites that are out there.
Okay.
Right down to the definition of the law and everything.
Well, we'll get that posted in the forum. Tricia, did you get your questions answered?
Just one more thing. I keep hearing that sovereigns and tier ones will go first, and the public may not go for quite a long time after that. Have you heard that? Have you or IKO heard that?
Not anymore in that sense. I believe the sovereigns may already have gone. I'm not sure. Okay, that's what we were talking. IKO mentioned about the paperwork and the movement of money.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and payments and everything. So I am going to assume something. Now, was there not something in one of the rooms about that right now the RV was sitting in the sovereign part of the Treasury?
Well, the sovereigns have had their money funded to the Treasury, but it has not been dispersed yet.
Right. And you know what they're waiting for are the codes.
Yeah.
You need the SWIFT codes. Okay. And there is someone that I guess is about to release those. So that's for the integration of the SWIFT and the SIPs. And then you'll see this weekend, again, with the AIIB coming on board completely, then the SIPs is totally up. And the SWIFT codes, everything will be integrated so that there can be no crossover of problems. That's why I honestly think our banks are closed, tonight, right? Friday?
Right.
I don't know about tomorrow. I mean, it's a half day in some banks, but Monday is a true legal holiday for banking and the markets. So
today is actually Martin Luther King's birthday. So
well, I read somewhere that some of the banks may have been closed today and taken like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I didn't think banks could be closed more than 3 days in a row.
I didn't either, but it may be like the third tier type banks that decided to close. So I don't know. I did shopping around. Everything else was just closed the weekend, Monday. So.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate everything.
Thanks, Trish.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, Tex, go ahead.
Wait a minute. I want to say one thing before Tex comes in. There's going to be a lot of people that are, and forgive me for saying this, I'll take the heat for it, but the conversation we're having right now is for intermediate and advanced people that have been in this for a while, and today we're not going to be answering what we would call beginner questions, because we're near the end of this, and we just want to stick with intermediate and advanced questions. So, Tex, go ahead.
Hey, Jerry, thanks. My question is for IKO regarding oil and the pricing of the oil. I know here in this country, a lot of oil fields have been closed, South Dakota, West Texas, because the price of oil has gotten so low they cannot afford to pump it. So I am wondering if it is possible that, OPEC basically has been shut out of all of this oil drama since it began several months ago, and they are quoting their oil at $10 a barrel. Is it possible that Iran is playing the same game as China is about buying contracts at $20 a barrel? Is it possible OPEC can say to Iran, while you're in the neighborhood, swing that tanker by here and we'll top it off at $10 a barrel? Can they do that? Would they do that?
Boy, that's a complicated question.
Boy, is that ever.
I'm going to say, so I'm going to put myself in Iran's shoes, okay? And I am desperate for oil revenue. Even though we rule with an iron fist, we are also cognizant of we don't want a populace that thinks we're stupid. It's okay that we're brutal, but we can't be stupid. It's the Russian mentality. I don't think Iran would risk that right now with the sanctions just coming off. I think, if anything, the smart move is to play it straight and narrow. Don't give the Israelis any ammunition. Don't give the West any ammunition, or for that matter, the Chinese. Just I think that scenario. That's an interesting scenario, but I don't think it's going to play out. And also, everybody should go on Marine Watch just once. You can go on it for free. You can't do much with it unless you pay to be a member, but you can look at all the ships of the world. I mean, you can literally zoom back and get a flat map of the entire planet and every ship that's out there. It's a real education. Anybody can watch the movement of ships now, not just governments, not just spy satellites. Anybody with a computer can watch the movement of any commercial ship on the planet. So it's hard to, quote unquote, swing by someplace without being noticed. It's hard to get away with swapping out cargoes or taking on dummy cargoes because of the information that is electronically transmitted about these ships. So I'm going to say I think the overall answer to your question is no monkey business right now. That's does that help?
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
I'm out.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, Tex. Okay, I'm going to take a list. Who else would like to ask a question? Anybody? 350 people on this call, and we have no one who wants to ask a question.
*6 to come in.
Hello. My name is Joyce Fleming, and I have a question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Doris.
I know that yesterday or day before yesterday you talked about the ZIM, but I heard more than one rate, and I've forgotten it. Can you go over that again? You don't have to go over all of them, just the ZIM.
Wait a moment. Let me get my notes here. Let me get my packet. There was a range, Joyce.
Yes,
yeah, and it could be even higher. I can't tell you it may not be, but hold on a second.
I know you can't tell me the exact one. I'm just trying to get an idea.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
I'm rearranging
the whole idea of the lopping of the zeros. I understand what they're saying. It's a easier way to figure out if you got $100 trillion note, how much money you're going to have, because you can.
Yeah, it's real easy. Let me help you out here. So if they only take 6 zeros off the note, which we've heard, for every 100 T note leaves you $100 million. So for every penny, that's $1 million. So if it starts out at 1 cent, that's $1 million. If you get a nickel, that's $5 million. If you get 20 cents, that's $20 million. So for every penny it goes up, that's another $1 million on the note.
Okay, so if you've got $100 trillion note, that's how it works. That's what you're saying. Every time it goes up a penny, you take 6 zeros off, and every time it goes up a penny, it adds another million. Is that right? Dollars.
So a 100 T note, any 100 T note ends up, after you lop the zeros off, ends up being $100 million.
Right.
So, and for every penny, starting at a penny, it's $1 million. So if it goes up another penny, that's
that
$2
makes
million
it easier to think about. But now, when they actually come out with the rate and it's on the bank screen, they're not going to say to you, well, you got to lop 6 zeros and then multiply it by 02 or 03 or however many pennies it comes out. Am I correct or not?
Pretty much. Take your calculator when you go.
I don't think it goes out that far.
No, that's the easiest thing to remember.
You have to multiply it out yourself.
It's the easiest thing to remember.
Yeah, I remember what you said, and that makes it easier. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Joyce,
I want to know what
you
your
wanted the rates. I've got them. And it's a range, Joyce, because we know that they could be higher, okay?
Yeah.
They're calling the international rate, okay? Now, remember, these have been around for a while. Anywhere from 0.04 to 14 cents.
Okay.
All right.
That's real good.
Now, what they're calling, that's fine, but they're also calling something, and I think they're using the term contract, but I have a feeling these are going to be market rates. Anywhere from 15 cents up to 22. Now, that doesn't mean that 22 may be higher. remember, these numbers have been kicking around the system here for a while.
Right.
And and they will multiply upward. That's why when all is said and done and everything finally happens, you're going to see some pretty high numbers come out the chute for.
Well, I want to know. I want to know how can that country give such a high rate on their I'm glad they're doing it, but I don't understand how they can pay people that much money.
Zimbabwe is loaded with all sorts of assets. They are sitting to the north of South Africa. So I have to tell you, they're diamonds. They have diamonds right now. I also would not be surprised in the Central Africa area. They have found bogs of peat moss that go down so deep. Peat is an excellent source of burning energy. And it's a natural source, okay? I'm trying to think what else they have. They probably have some, they probably have gold. Yeah, they probably have gold. Who knows what else is buried under there? They could also have oil. Look at the proximity of basically Middle Africa to the Middle East. Of course. Geologically.
Now you talk about the market rate and then the contract rate, and is that the only two?
They're calling it a contract rate right now. I'm just assuming. I don't know if that's that they're going to call that a contract rate, or they're going to keep it as a market rate, and you can go as high as you want. All right.
In other words, they're just going to maybe just come out with one rate, and
you'll have a stretch.
You'll
have a stretch. We've heard all sorts of rates. I mean, if you were to walk into a bank right now, just off the street, you're only going to get the international rate, and you'll probably get the low end of it.
You have to wait. Else. What happens before you go in?
No. When you're going in now, you're going in sort of privately in a sense that you can now negotiate these higher rates. But I don't think the true general public will ever be able to get the market rates.
What delineates me from somebody just walking in off the street? In other words, how do I have clout? Is it the amount I hold, or what?
No, probably will end up having a bank account in one of these banks.
Yeah.
And you're going in with the knowledge at this point before everyone who will be on the street will be able to go in and get this stuff. I'm just telling you. I think eventually, Zimbabwean currency, their regular currency, will be traded, but the rate will be low.
Yeah.
Okay. They're doing the same thing every one of these countries did. They redenominated their currency. So they went into, single, $1, $2, $3, $4, and I believe they went into coins as well. This is currency that's coming off the street just like Iran did. And actually, Iran redenominated their currency, I believe, in 2010, because we are exchanging 2008, I believe.
In Zimbabwe, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's the same thing. And they all did the same thing. So they all have low denoms. And then, of course, you're looking at coinage that's coming out. So, of course, the great saying is paper has no intrinsic value anyway. So
right, exactly. Yeah. Oh, we all
Joyce?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Let me give you our email address, and we can answer, because this is kind of like beginner questions, and this is intermediate to advanced call today. So we've given it up before, but here's the email address for the Wing It call. And are you on the website for the new site? Have you registered for our new?
No, tell me how to do that, how to get on it.
Let me give you the email address, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so it's VV, that's Victor, MM, GRP, that's VVMM GRP @gmail.com.
Okay, good.
If you'll send an email there, then I'll send you a link to help you get you registered, okay?
Okay, all right. I'll do that.
And Joyce, what he actually means is Blondie will pick up the email and take care of it. That's what he means. But
okay.
just
all
because
right.
Jerry's being mean today, I want to tell you all, the group here, we're kind of planning to put together, if we have time, if this doesn't happen immediately, over the weekend, like an Exchange 101 for beginners.
Okay.
So we'll post on the website a time, and so that, we know we have a lot of new members to the site. So we're going to try to put together a call so that you can, call in and we'll take the questions.
Yeah, well, I'm not exactly a newcomer, but there's certain things that I need to ask questions about, so that'd be good. I've been doing this since I found out about Nasera the day before it was supposed to happen the next day, and we had 9/11. And then it was about 2005 before I bought any currency. But since then,
very good. Welcome to the wild ride, Joyce. If you'll send us an email, we're going to go on to the next caller, honey.
Okay.
All right.
So now we're moving on here.
Okay.
Do we have another question. I'm sorry. Who is
I have a
Dorier.
Hey,
Was there somebody else?
Before you come in, it's IKO. Can I just tell a quick story?
Yes, sir.
Concerning the wealth of Zimbabwe, back in 1938, Shell Oil did a study commissioned by Nazi Germany on Rhodesia, that area of Africa, which is now Zimbabwe. And the man who presented the findings of the study started off the talk by saying, Rhodesia is a diamond sitting in a pool of gold surrounded by a setting of platinum. That's how he started his speech.
Oh, my God.
And for those of you who like facts after the event, Shell was selling crude oil to Nazi Germany all the way up until 1943. Before it was decided it might be actually before the U.S. really got heavily into the air war, and that was because that was one of the stipulations. We said, "Listen, guys, we're not going to come over and bomb the refineries that you're supplying. That doesn't make sense, and it doesn't look good on a resume." So there's another little tidbit on how the real world works. The other thing, we were talking a little bit about rates, and I got a report yesterday from a Wells Fargo person who was quoting me off of her screen. And what was interesting about it was there was a spread on the dinar. And the note next to it said agent discretion. The spread was $3.50 to $8.49. And then the contract rate was $8.50 to $38. Agent discretion.
IKO?
Yeah.
You weren't in the call the other day, but those are the exact rates I quoted.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that's okay. The spreads, yep. And that's on paper that I have. That actually was in the room a long time ago, so, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Those are the spreads. Yep, go ahead.
And the ZIM, as of yesterday, was anywhere from 3 cents. Now here's the interesting thing. It was 3 cents to 15 cents, and then there was a second grouping. They didn't call it a contract rate. They just said second grouping of excuse me. So it was 3 cents to 14 cents, and then 15 cents to 22 cents. Again, agent discretion, which I found, that was new information for me.
And that's what I just gave you. Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting visit to the bank. That's for sure. Okay, I'm done. Thanks.
Joe Jorier.
Appreciate it.
Bye, IKO.
Bye.
Hello, Blondie. Hello, Martha. Welcome, IKO.
Thank you guys for everything that you do. My question is to Martha or IKO. I was told that Japan would be announced that they secretly joined the AIIB, which would be starting this weekend. They have a meeting, and that will be announced. But my question to you, Martha, is that I also heard that it's going to be another secret announcement. And that secret announcement is going to be that the United States also joined too.
Woohoo.
What's your take on that?
That would be very interesting. We sort of brought that up the other day, didn't we? Actually, IKO brought that in to us about that Japan had done it. Okay, and that basically left the U.S. sitting in a corner. But see, they had no choice now. They're the only holdout that was left, so I'm not surprised.
Right, and also my question, too, about the Iran Real is that just the way the United States and the Tier 1 banks been doing, is it any possibility that when they do let the sanctions go, that United States Bank can really just be so vindictive that they would not still put the Iran Real on their screens?
Let me take a stab at this, because I think this is going to help you out quite a bit, Dorier. You got to remember, they're not going to be vindictive for one reason. Who is right there in the cabinet with our president? Her name is Valerie Jarrett. She's made no bones about it that she is Iranian by birth, and all of her family is Iranian. And she helps the president with his decisions. They're also Muslim. They're going to want to help their own country. That is it in a nutshell, not even beating around the bush. So they're not going to be vindictive. I hope you can't say anything more than that. They're going to protect their own.
Text 2007 comment.
Hi, Text 2007.
Hey, Dorier.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll yield.
Jerry, hang on, Tex. Jerry, now, did we not talk about being politically correct? Oh, whoops, I meant incorrect. Oh, right, you hit the nail on the head, buddy. You're good. We're good.
Okay.
Okay,
all right, Dorier.
Yes.
Let's give Tex a chance here, and if you'll just start 6 here.
Yield.
Oh, Dorier.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Stay, Dorier. Another thing is John Kerry's daughter married Valerie Jarrett's son over the holidays.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm out.
And you know, and I forgot to mention that the person, the Iranian that was negotiating all this with John Kerry, was actually at the wedding, at John Kerry's daughter's wedding.
Surprise.
There's pictures of that. This isn't hearsay. There's pictures of that.
It's documented. Okay, I'm out. Thanks.
Thanks, Tex.
Question, excited?
Okay, Dorier, are you finished?
Yeah, she starts it. She yielded the floor.
Okay.
Why don't you get a couple people on the list there?
Excited, please.
Excited's on the list. Who else?
Hello?
Yes, who is it? Who is it?
This is Art from Pennsylvania.
Okay, Art, we're going to put you in the queue.
I'm just going to get a couple names here. Anybody else?
Cubby, Minnesota.
Okay.
Somebody from Minnesota?
Lindsay from
somebody
Michigan.
else after that? Who? Ma'am, I didn't hear your name.
Lindsay from Michigan.
Lindsay. Okay, so I have Art, somebody from Minnesota, and Lindsay. So Art, go ahead.
No. Excited. Hold on. Excited was first.
Okay. Jerry, don't punish me. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Okay, go ahead, Excited.
Why, good afternoon to all y'all. The room is full, and I there's a couple different things I just wanted to bring in. I believe that last week there was an article we were talking first about the Zim in Zimbabwe, and the Russians came on into Zimbabwe about 2 or 3 weeks back, and they put in millions and millions of dollars into a platinum mine, supposedly the largest platinum mine in the world.
Oh my God!
And on top of that, of course, we know that the Chinese are the ones that are backing the entire play throughout Zimbabwe and all of their mining and every other aspect that they have there. So, one of the questions that I did have that I did want to bring in was we keep on talking about the WAP, and you hear so many different stories. We hear 6 on the T's, 3 on the B on the B's, and then there was no WAP on the mills. And I just don't understand if that was the case, and if that's the true story, why a 500 T or 500 mil note would be worth more than a 100 trillion note. Does anybody have an idea?
We won't know any. It's all conjecture and speculation till we get to the bank. I'm taking everything I've got just in case, and they're not going to let you know anything in advance. Darn it.
No.
I wish they would, but they're not. So
Jerry,
I apologize. Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember, God, it's got to be over almost a year ago, that someone brought an article in that there was a law on the Zimbabwe country books regarding the billions and the millions, that in 1 year they would only lop 2 currency rates, and that was the 100 trillion notes, all the 100 trillion notes, and the 50s, okay? That all the other currencies, including the billion, were supposed to stand as is. Right now, everyone's conjecturing about three bills off. Now, I, being an idiot, bit on that, and what do I own? 2 $1 billion notes, which really, if they lop them, what are they worth? $1 million. That's it. So that's what they did. But until they straighten that out, and that supposedly was in print, and it's in their, apparently in their constitution on their rules. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, I guess we'll all be in the bank and wondering.
We'll all be in the bank fighting.
And we won't know until that time, because I tell you, it's so crazy. Because again, the big thing was up until I guess it was about a month or 2 back, nobody was talking about the 500 mil notes. Okay, then all of a sudden, everybody started talking about the 500 mil notes, because again, if they don't mop any zeros off of the 500 mil, it's worth more than a 100 trillion note.
Actually, they're actually the same.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
Yeah, they would end up being the same, right? Okay.
Exactly. Yep. So then there was a big play at the dealers where, of course, the 500 million notes all of a sudden started to go out of sight. Before, they used to give them away when you bought an order. It was a freebie. Now all of a sudden they're getting some serious money for the 500 million notes.
You got another question there, Excited?
Well, basically, no. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. I'm just trying to get in more people today.
Ed, I'm not going to hold anybody up.
Okay,
Thank you,
Art.
sir.
Thanks, Excited, and Art, you're up.
Hey, thanks a lot. Listen, I want to say I really appreciate all the quality information all of you put out. I've been following all of you on the internet, on the blogs for a while, and I always know that when you're all speaking, I'm getting the best information, and I appreciate that. My questions today are basically, all right, Iraq is ready, the cards are loaded, there's an amount on them. Iran sanctions are coming off supposedly today. They're going to go back to reinstate their rates. Supposedly this is happening now. This is going to be real time. So how can they delay this from happening much more? And when they go live, are their rates going to change in the Forex? And then doesn't that change the information that goes out to the general public?
That's a good question.
IKO.
Yeah. Where do you
That's an
run to?
IKO question.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? He's right. But how much of the general public is watching this? As Tony used to say, you know, how much of the general public is going to know? Yeah, granted, it'll go viral once we get our numbers and get to go to the bank. But think about it. Most of the world isn't watching this.
Yeah,
at least here in the United States. How many people really have been watching this? A lot of people have just put money in their drawer and forgotten about it.
Yeah, and don't forget 4X follows the action. It does not dictate.
Oh, look who's back. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just the idea that if, you know, here they are, they're ready to go, meaning that they're you know, if I put myself, if it was happening in our country and this happened, you know, we'd be ready to go. So Iraq is ready. If the sanctions come off Iran, they're going to get reinstated. That means their currencies have value in country, which means they're going to have value out of country. So it's like they're leading this whole process happening, and how long can they keep it under wraps? I guess my question is, are we there right now? I mean, is this really going to happen this week, or is there going to be some other delay? Because it seems like, looking back over the last 5-6 years, we've never been in this position before. Now here we are, and you have Iraq and Iran, everything's going forward. So I just keep wondering what else could delay this. I mean, it sounds like they're in a motion for their countries in order for them to stabilize. They need this to happen too.
I just think it's part of the rollout right now. I mean, we have announcements that have to be made, papers that need to be signed, and actually there's money that still has to be moved around here first. But that's why, you know, I'm not saying it's not going to happen this weekend. It just may carry over to the beginning of next week. That's all.
Gotcha. And would we possibly, and I'm just throwing this out, especially with Iran, if Iran gets revalued, if Iran gets reinstated, is it possible that we could actually go to the bank with the Iran currency before anybody else's, or are they going to hold that back?
No, it'll be together.
Okay.
At this point, it has to be together. Yeah, Iran will never come out before Iraq. There's no way. Yeah, they're pegged to each other. I say that jokingly, using the term pegging, but yeah, they're attached at the hips. We're all attached at each other's hips, if you think about it.
Yes.
So.
Yes. It's really interesting. I've been listening for a while, and this really is a family. I mean, besides the information, the humor, you hear we're all in the same boat where our houses are being taken away, our vehicles are being taken away. It's like, I believe that we have been chosen for this because we have suffered so much in our lives that we understand what it's like to get knocked down on the ground. And it's, for us, the reason that we were left in this is so that we can go out into the people and really start the wave. We can really start helping the people like us who are not as fortunate to believe in this whole thing. And we can pick them up and get them back on their feet, because all this prosperity package that is supposed to happen with land in China, it's going to take a while. I mean, that's, the best laid plans still take a while. So I'm really grateful to be part of this. And I have a whole bunch of things that I'm going to be doing, a lot of housing projects to try to get people in houses who don't have enough money. So I'm just really anxious to get this going, because I feel like this can't wait much longer, and especially with everything going on in the stock market, people are starting to panic. I mean, the small people are starting to go, oh, God, here we go again, 2008 again.
Art, do you have any other questions?
That's it.
Thank you very much. We need to move on. So whoever from Minnesota was on there, you're up.
Scubby.
Stubby?
Cubby.
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 Oh, hi, Cubby.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
He's still waiting. He's still waiting for the miracle year when the Cubbies actually get to the World Series.
Right. That is a fact. So anyway, I guess a couple of different questions. First question is this. Got wind of an article today that they're talking about holding back the rial even though Iran sanctions have been released. Is that even possible?
No.
No?
No,
I didn't think so.
No.
And that didn't make sense to me. Okay, so that was my first question. Second
Disinformation.
question,
What else?
yeah, imagine that. Second question is in regards to the multiple currency accounts or multi-currency accounts. I've talked to 3 different banks, and only one so far has actually acknowledged knowing that they exist. Is this something that is going to be in the wealth management section of the banking, or is it just that only one bank is going to be able to do that?
Cubby, I know that PNC Bank advertises that they will do multiple currency accounts.
Okay.
I can even make it simpler. The reason they're not telling you, and don't take this wrong, I'm in the same position, is because you're a peon. Once you cease being a peon and you've got cash, because cash talks, bullshit walks. Then they'll say, "Sir, yes, sir. What can we do for you? Would you like a limo today? We'll be right on there. Where do you want to go? Oh, you like a plane? Well, you want to leave $100 million a year? Yes, sir. Where do you want to go? Cabo? We'll be right on that." That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And there we go again with that politically correct thing, Jer. Okay.
Yeah, I've already had to walk out on a wealth manager once because they called me a liar. So I don't know if I'm going to be blackballed for that or not. But anyway, thank you guys very much, and for everything you do for all of us. I'm out.
Okay, thanks for joining, Cubby. Lindsay, you're up.
Hi, everyone. It is so nice to talk to you. I have one question and one comment. The comment that I have is that I have a friend who I work with whose grandfather is an ancestral chief in Zimbabwe, and he's been summoned home. He said, "Close your affairs and come home." Don't know what that's about, but he only usually visits once a year. His grandfather sent him a ticket, so he's on his way back home. The second question I have is that before I heard about the fact that they may only want to exchange Zimbabwe currency in lots of 100 trillion, I bought a lot of 10 trillion notes for nieces and nephews and kids at my church because I didn't want them to be burdened with student loans like I am right now, so that I could give them college fund money. I don't know whether or not they're going to be able to exchange it.
Oh, let the politically correct person have a crack at this one.
I was going to say just buy the college.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this one. I got to say this. I'm mad right now because I'm out of Blue Moon. I drank 2 and I want another one.
Why don't you drink tea like the rest of us?
No, and the wife left me, so for the day. Anyway, here's my politically correct comment. Since when have we ever known the bank to turn down money? The reason they said 100 T combinations because in the beginning they wanted people that only had 50 T notes. Heard about this? We as a group we want you to come in. They were trying to limit the redneck people like myself. So what did I do? I went out and bought more currency. Now I'm a redneck plus. So when this goes down, the people that you gave the 10 trillion notes to, they're going to want that money. Since when does a bank turn down money? They just want to get us in first.
I wanted to make sure because I've probably gifted maybe 250 trillion over the last 2 years.
The bank, after this goes down, you just tell them, look, go in the bank and take them with you. Take them with you because what you have is leverage now. What do you mean you don't want this 10T note? You know what? I'm taking my money out, or you know what? I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to your boss. They're not going to turn that money down. They're greedy. We've seen that already. Okay. That's a redneck version for me. I'm out.
But Jerry, you're our redneck, and we love you no matter what. Okay, buddy?
Blondie, it's Jody. May I make a comment?
I appreciate it.
Yes, you may. Make a comment.
In reference to this last lady, what Jerry was saying, another thing to think about if it's family members is you do the full exchange because you will have the leverage with all of your currency to get the highest rate possible. Under the law, you are able to give away $5 million something over your lifetime. And also with trust set up, there's other ways to pass the money on to them. So that's just something that, to think about, where they're going to get the most for their buck, and you're going to be able to help them substantially as well. I'm out.
Thank you. Lindsay, are you good?
I'm good. Thanks so much.
Okay, so we're ready for some more names. Anybody else?
Hey, Blondie, it's IKO.
IKO, go ahead.
The reason I came back in is because the Galveston port mooring field just broke up.
What do you mean by that, Micah?
That means all those 30-odd ships that were sitting there just started going off in other directions.
Uh-oh, we got some interference here.
Yeah.
IKO, could you repeat that?
Yeah.
Yes, there were about 35 ships moored, meaning they were on anchor outside of the Galveston port facility. In the last hour, the entire mooring field, all 35 ships, plus every tugboat within 100 miles, got underway.
Whoa.
So they picked up their anchors and they're moving. It's hard to say where they're moving to because their old destinations are still being listed on their AIS board. But they all basically fired up their engines and started going someplace.
But are they loaded or not?
Pardon me?
Are they loaded?
No.
Okay.
Some are going in to get loaded. Some are taking off for other ports.
Okay. All right.
Now they might be loaded. I didn't check out all 35 ships. So what I did was, I then went back over to the Persian Gulf. There are still ships pouring into the northern Persian Gulf, which is Iran, and Kuwait, and Iraq. So the groups that were moored in front of those countries are growing by the hour. And yeah.
Are these ships going to deliver goods, or are they going to take stuff from Iran? Or both?
I think it's both. I mean, it's certainly the bulk carriers are loaded, and they're headed toward Iran, toward Kuwait, toward Iraq. See, what's interesting is normally when Iraq ships oil, it's through a pipeline. It goes north through Turkey, right? They don't ship that little spit of land that pops them onto the north of the Persian Gulf, where they've got a seaport. They usually don't do a lot out of there. And now suddenly they're lined up to do a good size transaction off the southern part of their country. Kuwait also takes advantage of that same pipeline, plus I think another one of their own dedicated that has rights through Iraq. But again, they're suddenly using ships off of their coastline, off of their port facilities. And then, of course, you got Iran, which has thousands of miles of coastline down there. And probably every 500-600 miles, they've got a major port facility. And there are now what I call mooring fields, basically a bunch of ships anchored off of each of those ports. But what is the key factor is the tugboats, the cruise ships, and the support vessels that are showing up, which means, it's one thing to have a bunch of ships anchored offshore, but those ships require little boats and men to get them up to the piers, and that's what's showing up in droves, is all that support to make sure that they can offload or load product. That's moving ahead like nobody's business. So clearly the shipping industry, I would say they know this is going to happen because they won't lift a finger on an if or a whim. That's just not who those guys are. It's cash on the barrelhead. Nobody gets credit. It's a letter of credit, but a letter of credit has a number on it, and that number is solid gold as far as both parties are concerned who are named on the letter of credit. All the letter of credit says is, I'm going to do this. When I do this, you're going to do that, and then we're both going to get paid. That's what the letter of credit says in simplistic terms. And those guys don't, they don't do anything on a whim. They don't do anything on a guess. They don't speculate. They deal in real-time conditions. So that's why I'm so bullish on this thing happening soon.
IKO?
Like days soon. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Where
Sure.
are we with the tariffs?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't
these ships have to pay tax. I mean, all these ships, whether they're oil or they're carrying goods of some sort, they have to pay a tariff coming in and out of those ports, right?
That's right.
Anyone
And
seen the
tariff,
bill of lading? Yeah.
That tariff is listed on the letter of credit. I know that.
Okay, which means if they're doing that, then they're getting their tariffs paid.
Yes.
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 All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So we're starting a new list. Anybody would like to ask a question?
Goody. Goody from Florida.
Goody
from Florida.
Goody. Okay. Who else?
Black Eyed Pea.
Black Eyed Pea, my man.
He is back
I love
in the
you,
room.
buddy. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, go ahead, Goody.
At one time, we were told to segregate the dinar into a virgin account when we exchange. In other words, exchange into an account with a zero balance. Is that still the case? That's number one. Number two, what about the Zim and the Dong and the other currencies? Can they be combined into one account? Or will we be driving the bank staff crazy opening 15 or 20 accounts?
Can I say something? These type of questions are going to be addressed. Let's just make Blondie, you want to do a call, say 2 o'clock Saturday, Central Time?
I can't. I have to go to a funeral.
Welcome to that club.
There you go. How about...
Go ahead.
How about, 10 o'clock Saturday morning, Mountain Time? 10 o'clock tomorrow morning? My time, so that would be noon Eastern Time.
I can't.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
No. Jared, Blondie, you and I can do that. We can answer these questions.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the wing it call for everybody that have what we call beginner questions tomorrow at 11 o'clock Central Time, noon Eastern. The wing it call room will be opened up, and we will do an hour or a little bit more beginner questions. So I hope that helped that lady that was asking questions. I apologize for cutting you short, but like I said, this is intermediate and advanced call, and we can take care of that tomorrow for you if you've got time. Please.
My sense is that it perhaps has changed, and I consider myself advanced. I just want to reaffirm because I'm establishing the accounts.
I would separate just that, the dinar, and everything else I believe you can combine.
Thank you.
And just let me address something. The bank is, if you want to open 20 accounts and you're walking in there with millions of dollars, they're going to do whatever you want. So I wouldn't even give that another thought. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. Okay, so did that answer your question?
Thank you very much.
Am I still on?
Am I?
I hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Black IP, you're up.
Good, thank you. How's everybody this afternoon? Hope everybody's well. Quick question for IKO and Martha. You all can tag team on it if you will. We sorry, wrong word. We understand
you got that right, Black IP.
right.
Martha,
right,
are you wearing
like,
your championship belt?
Oh, stop it.
So IKO and Martha, we understand that Iraq most likely is done, and we understand that they most likely won't release Iran until, or they'll release Iran sanctions, but their little brother over there, Iraq, I don't see how they can keep them up under the thumb when their next door neighbor, their brother, is getting billions of dollars. And with Iraq being very, very proud people. Here's my question. We know what the holdup is. We know what's going on. And these people are being allowed to drive this market down until multiplied millions of Americans will be suffering because of that. So here's my question. Who has the authority to at least stand up, allow the codes to be given, and get this thing rolling so we can at least save some of the Americans here? So who has the authority to say, okay, enough is enough, let's get this button pushed and let's get these people rolling out? I'm trying to figure out where the break is, if I may ask. Where is the break? I mean, we know it's probably not the president. Is it Jacob Lew? Is it the Treasury? Is it the UST? Because I know, IKO, we talked before, and you were saying that, hey, maybe not necessarily that the USNs need to necessarily be released in order for this RV to go. So I'm saying, where is the holdup, and who has the authority to give the codes, call people in, and say, let's get this party started?
This redneck does, and until somebody pays me off, I'm not pushing the damn button.
And you know what? Here's the deal. All the payoff is a case of Blue Moon.
Oh, my goodness.
So somebody hustle up. Get over to Jerry's house.
Well, he was sipping on that the other day, so we figured that this thing should be done.
No, that was the payoff just to get us to this point. Now I want the payoff to push the button. And the thing is, it's not a case, it's a tanker.
Oh, I got you. And so, IKO, I'm saying that in relation to what you're talking about with the shippers moved. We know This is done, but somewhere somebody still got their thumb, in other words, where
like sitting on it, Black IP?
Exactly. And so I'm saying, IKO, are they waiting for this thing to totally tank? Are they waiting on, many people to just be penniless? I'm saying, who can say, release the codes, let's get these people in the bank, let's get this thing rolling, and let's pump this into the world where it needs to be?
Okay, so who owns the computer system?
I think we do.
Who's we?
The Americans, right? The U.S. No?
No, Wells Fargo owns the computer system. Wells Fargo developed the software.
Okay.
Who owns Wells Fargo?
The Chinese. Is that my answer?
Ta-da. Ta-da.
You just got your answer. I'm biting my tongue here, but there's your answer.
I'm looking through
They're ready.
I'm looking through a pair of French doors, which looks out onto my driveway and the road down below. I still don't see any black SUVs. It's been, 15 seconds? Okay. Yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, look, in all seriousness, it's that I had it a little wrong a couple of months ago when I said there was a team coach or a referee that everyone had assigned the power to call the shots, call the plays. in reality, there's nobody at the top. There is this entity, which let's say it's somebody sitting in Wells Fargo. Okay, so there's an entity who is actually going to release those codes. But now my belief is that he's basically going to get phone calls from a few people. And they're all going to say, yeah, we all spoke, go ahead, do it. And the Chinese is one. The private bankers, the Rothschilds and all those guys is another. Then you've got so let's call that group the Western bankers. You got the Western bankers, you got the Chinese, and you got the Middle East crowd, because they're the hot spot. Now I don't know who speaks for the middle. Maybe Abadi does, maybe he doesn't. Or maybe the CBI does, maybe it doesn't. And then you've got all the world banks as kind of this other entity, and you've got all these industrialists. The G20 as another entity. All that whole crowd has to say yes at the same time. And I think they've all said yes at this point. And now they're finding out, okay, we all said yes, but we forgot about A and we forgot about B, and C's a bit of a problem. It's the same old game again of coalescing the power and authority and influence into releasing the codes, and we're right there. That's why I'm real bullish about this weekend. I think the stuff we're worried about to make it go into Tuesday, some of that's like post-RV crap that has to get dealt with. I think all the pre-RV stuff is done, and they're trying to make it happen, and they keep bumping into not evildoers trying to hurt us, but real practical issues. That's all I want to say about it.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, IKO. To me, this is the perfect storm. It's like everything is culminating, everything is imploding, and so I would say, if it goes past this weekend, I don't know what's going to happen next week, but I do believe, we're right in the eye of the storm, man. I think it's time. There's so much going on, and there's so much going on behind the scenes that I think we're here as well.
Well, what I'm trying to find out now, I put out a couple of calls. I want to know why the Galveston field broke up. That just fascinates me no end. I get why everybody's waiting off the coast of Iran. I get that. But why all of a sudden did that group of ships, international group of ships, get told to get underway, and where are they going? In about another 4 hours, I'll be able to track all those ships and see where they're going. Right now, they're only, they're anywhere from 10 to 30 miles away. They got to get a few hundred miles out so you can see where they're actually headed.
Well,
hey, IKO, when you find that out, will you post that in the room? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Black IT.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Well, either somebody, IKO, sounds like either somebody wrote a big check or somebody pushed a button. So
yeah,
one of the two.
And you know what? They're both mutual. You can't have the big check without the button getting pushed. So,
right, because I'm sure nobody paid for it out of their personal accounts.
No way.
Okay. Are you good? Are you good, Black IT?
I'm good. I just need a side of collard greens, but I'm all right.
All right. Thanks, sweetie. Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Walt got.
Okay. Walt, I didn't understand you, but I'll go with Walt. Anybody else?
Cubby again.
Cubby. Anybody else?
Walt Todd.
Okay, I'm just going to call you number 3 because I didn't quite get that. Okay, so
no, it's the first guy. He's way over modulated. If you could back off or something, you're so loud you're muffled.
Okay.
Okay, so you're up, sir.
Yeah, question, IKO.
You're breaking up really. You're breaking up really bad, sir. It's like you're underwater. It's so bad.
Is it any better?
No, you're still. Hold your arm up.
I'm standing on the roof of my house.
Stand on one foot.
Yeah, stand on one foot.
I have my phone over my head, my foot up in the air, my right arm straight out.
Okay, it's terrible. We can't hear you at all.
Yeah, if you could
Cubby,
call back in and get a better connection or something, please.
Okay.
Okay, Cubby, go ahead.
All right, my question is in regards to, I've heard quite a few times about the fact that any dollar amounts over a certain number are becoming seized and frozen regarding platforms and such. Is that still a factor? Do we know why and if, so on and so forth? Anybody got any information on that?
I can say that I've heard from my people that's not an issue at all. At all. There's no limit.
Okay, because
But
I've
what
heard
do
that.
I know, you know?
Right, yeah, I've heard that a number of times that because of, anything over, X million and the funds are being seized and watched and so on and so forth. So nobody's hearing anything of that sort.
My reply would be if you provided receipts, I'm going to take everything when I go in, and if you've shown where you've legally purchased it and where you've done it, and you sign your FinCEN report as an exchange, and you get what is that? The 3 C's, a clear. Help me out here, Blondie.
Yep.
Clean and clear.
Clean and clear.
Yeah, clean and clear.
Yeah. Yep. I know what you're saying.
So there you go.
Okay. Good to hear. Thank you.
But you know what, Jerry, on that clean and clear, that's once you get it into your bank and they take your deposit, you don't need that clean and clear certificate. They've already accepted it that it's clear. So I think that's just a little more something you don't need to worry about. I would certainly not be fretting about that issue, Cubby.
Kelly?
I really wouldn't.
Looky here, Hammer. It's Boy Scouting it. Get everything you can, prepare for the worst, and hope for the best.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that, Jerry. I totally agree with you. I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking everything. I'm just saying, yes, take everything, but don't lose sleep about this clean and clear certificate.
Sure, KLE.
That's
I heard
like the least of your worries when you get in for your exchange. Once they
KLE
take your money, they've acknowledged that it's clean and clear. That's all I'm saying.
The clean and clear certificate isn't for the bank. It's for when you go buy that house or that boat.
Are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
KLE, yes. Go ahead.
The clean and clear certificate isn't for the bank. The bank gives it to you so that when you go buy that boat or that expensive car or whatever, they know when you show them the clean and clear certificate that money is good. That's what it's for. That it's been verified by the bank. If you don't have that, then there might be a little delay. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Cubby. Any other questions?
Question, Seabreeze?
Go, Seabreeze.
Hey, first time on this call, but I've been with WSOMN. Thank you for this call. I wanted to know if I miss these calls, is the replay shown on the site? I see there is a replay. Is that the only one, or is See, I didn't know the difference between the open mic and the wing it call. What's the difference?
Okay, the wing it call, we have a separate number than the open mic. And yeah, the replay will be posted on the, the forum thing as soon as we hang up shortly after.
Yeah, so the one that I'm seeing there, let me just take a quick look at it.
There's also going to be a link so you can play it back on your computer. But it will be after the call. Let me say this since everybody's listening. The free conference call I have does the link like Tony's call did where you can listen live. To get that, you'd have to call in a number, download an app, then punch in another number. And I said, you know what, that's too much, and I'll just post the listen link after the call. And also there's international numbers that I've posted if you're out of country. And on the international numbers, you call the international number for the country you're in and just put in the access code, the 159453#. And you're in if you're overseas.
Okay, can I ask something else here? Okay, so it says open mind call. That's the one for Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Is that correct?
No, the winging it call is Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, I'm getting mixed up. Okay. So then when I replay, there's two replay numbers, and they end in 3579, and then they have a PIN of 328809.
That's for the I call it the WSOMN call, the WSOMN website. The winged call number, there's under conference call and information is you'll find the number for our call, and also there's a banner at the very top of the home page that stays up there all the time with the call in number and the access code, and then down there in the wing it call information will be you click on the wing it call and up will pop all the calls we've had, and just go to the latest one, click on that, and it'll bring up the playback for call in or the link to the computer.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Okay, I went to the home page. I see wing it call info, and that's from the 11th.
Okay, and so I'm here with you, so
with that number listed there for the 11th, which was what, Sunday?
Yeah, but the latest one you should see is the playback information for January 11th, playback info, January 11th, wing it, playback info.
January 11th, playback.
Or even playback, January 3rd. Go ahead.
That's for the first call. Then there's another replay, same thing. Right for
for January 13th. So just click on that one and open it up.
Oh, click it on?
And when you do, click on the link there.
There's no link. It's just a number, a phone number, that 3579 last 4 digits.
Oh, okay. You know what, ma'am? Well, could you PM Jerry in the room, and one of us will get back to you and walk you through this, okay? Okay, could you do that?
Yeah, who did you say contact Harry?
PM Blondie or PM Jerry McGuire.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Okay, and then we'll get you squared away.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so do we have any other questions?
Blondie, it's Bodie. I have a question on a member.
Oh, Bodie, you're not allowed to ask questions. You have to be transcribing, dear.
But
I need your email address.
If you're a lovely member.
Just go ahead, Bodie. Go ahead.
Okay. This is for everybody. Me and Jerry have discussed this. If the Chinese yuan is supposed to go asset-backed this weekend, does it still make sense to convert your dollars into the yuan with a multi-currency account? And then she's asking if the thought was to hold it there until the yuan was asset-backed, and then the U.S. was asset-backed. But is this necessary if China comes out asset-backed?
Yes, 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 yes.
Still would do it, most definitely.
Yes. Yeah, because the U.S. is not going to go asset-backed. Even if the yuan goes asset-backed, the U.S. is not going to be asset-backed. So we're still going to be exchanging into fiat. We're still going to be able to buy yuan, and then the U.S. will catch up.
I understand that,
right?
IKO, but is there a chance, though, because Martha is thinking that we're going to exchange into asset-backed. So you're saying that's...
No, if we exchange...
You don't think so? I think so. All right.
Wait. You guys walked over each other. Okay, IKO, go first, and then Martha,
yes.
comment.
Okay. If China declares asset-backed, and we go into the bank, okay, here's your telltale. If we go into the bank and they still give us whatever, $4.60 for the dinar and a couple of bucks for the dong, even though China said so, we're still fiat. We just exchanged fiat dollars, so we can take those fiat dollars, and then you're going to look at the yuan rate, and if the rate at the bank is $6.50, do it. If the rate at the bank is $1, then you know there's no reason to do it. It's all about that. It's all about that exchange rate. The moment you get your U.S. dollars in hand, if you look at the yuan and the yuan is anything greater than $1, do it. And don't do it for $1.10, but you know.
No, perfect. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm out.
Okay.
Okay, thanks,
okay,
buddy.
time out.
Get back to work.
All right, time out.
Okay.
Just a minute. The lady that wanted the web address, if you're not on the forum, here's the email address. It's vvmmgrp@gmail.com. That's Victor, Mary, grp@gmail.com.
Question, Kelly.
Okay, Kelly, can you just hang on 1 second? Before Jerry
Yes.
so rudely interrupted me.
Well, hold on, Blondie. Hold on, Blondie. Just a minute. I have a special cameo appearance.
Oh,
this
okay.
This cameo appearance is going to come in. He's going to make a little bit of a chat. There will be no questions, and then he will disappear. So cameo, special cameo appearance. Please come in, announce yourself, make your statement. Thank you for coming in, and then there'll be no questions. Go ahead.
I am in here. This is Elmer. Hello, everyone. I appreciate being invited to. I appreciate being invited to this call. There's a lot of smart people in this room. I've been very, very ill, and I'm trying to get better. And the reason I don't want to have any questions is because my voice can go out in any minute. And it's been hard, but there's nothing going to keep me from going into the bank, I can assure you of that. But I wanted to let you know that there's going to be some articles that's going to go out, and I know this crowd is pretty smart here. And basically these people that we call the pundits that are the know-it-alls are going to say that China has no clue what they're doing. I'm here to beg to differ. I think China exactly knows what they're doing, and quite frankly, I think China is in control of this entire thing, and I think you're seeing evidence of what's going on, and I expect some more blowback to happen after the market has closed, which, and we're seeing that right now, and I think Monday is going to be another bitter pill for a lot of people to swallow if we are here by Monday. It's all set up to go, as far as I am concerned. All the technicals point in that direction. But I wanted to say one thing that I heard before I got ready to come in. It's my understanding, I'll try to give you my scenario. You can take it for what it's worth, regarding the fiat versus asset-backed. I believe that it's in the best of nature and want for the U.S. The U.S. to want this to go down as a fiat currency first, because there's a lot to gain for this from the United States as well. And quite frankly, the banks are going to need the flush activity that's going to go, because of the rates that you're being promised, whether you're in a group or an individual. Is all because of the exchange versus the USD dollar. But in saying that, it's my opinion that this window will not happen very long. It will probably be between 48 and 72 hours. Not to scare anyone, but I am in agreement with other people that you have to. Like IKO said, check the rates. They'll tell you what it's going to be. I don't believe there's going to be any fanfare, notifications, or anything of that nature. You're just going to have to keep your pulse on the prize. Go in, make your exchange, find a way of getting the Chinese yuan or the Swiss franc as quickly as you can, and hold that, in a multi-currency account, or have it in physical cash, however you can arrange to get it. And do not do anything with that particular currency until you see the USD go gold back. That's your trigger to have it come back into the market. That will be a double RV, if you will. So hopefully you can figure out a way to get into that situation. But I would not want anyone that's been in this ride for a very, very long time to be sitting on the back lines trying to wait for the best rate that you can get. I think the rates are going to be, if it remains to be seen, it goes into a fiat situation. I think the longer that we've been waiting for this, the rates are going to be better than you think they are. There's a saying that I've lived by: pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. So the key is, once that Chinese yuan goes into a gold-backed currency, don't be on the outsider looking in, because the door will close, and I don't want anyone getting caught, because of that. These are scenarios I believe are going to happen. Take it for what it's worth. Do your own due diligence. Be smart, because you are smart people. And I think we're at the stop sign right now. I think we're seeing everything we need to see. I've listened to the call, and I think everything that many of you have said, you are seeing the writing on the wall right now. We're here. I don't know what else to say. And if we're not here, all I can say is God help us all. Thank you very much for inviting me, Jerry.
Thank you, Elmer. Hope you feel better, bud.
Thank you, Elmer.
Elmer, I want to get one thing clear here, because there seems to be some confusion in the chat. Do you think that the Chinese are going to be asset-backed when we go to the bank?
I think that we'll be dealing in a fiat currency window for about 48 to 72 hours. That's my opinion.
Okay, so basically when we go to the bank, this is a redneck version, and by the way, thank you, Elmer. No more questions. Go get a Blue Moon. So here it is.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we go to the
can prove that was Elmer.
Absolutely. When we go to the bank, it's basically China is not going to be asset-backed when this happens. So it's going to be a fiat-to-fiat exchange, and that's what we're looking for. And you'll know this. Elmer was saying that, IKO was saying, when you go to buy the yuan, the exchange rate will be 6 yuan to $1. That is the key right there to let you know that we're still in a fiat-to-fiat exchange. If it's a $1 to 1 yuan, then we're asset-backed. That's all you need to remember. Everything else is nothing but smoke and mirrors.
You'd be already on parity. And my greatest fear is if they came out as asset-backed right away, okay, that's obviously going to drag down the dollar. You're going to see it's not the reason I think that it's going to be fiat at first is because the whole idea was basically to try and help the world, if you will, from the Chinese perspective. If they wanted to crash the U.S. economy, they could have gone gold backed already. And they could, that would have, and that would create more turmoil than we are seeing right now. And you think we have a market crash right now, or on the precipice of a market crash, it would drag our economy down. It is not China's intention to destroy our economy. No way. That's not what their intention is. We're spenders here. Okay, they don't want to wreck it. But they're bringing it down because China does not punt fake. They don't head fake. They've always said what they want to do, and they're giving us an opportunity to do what we're supposed to do. And the USD needs this to happen too. There's a lot in store for them for it to come as the rates that we've been told to go into a fiat currency and so forth, because it will make the banks flush. Okay, it's important. It's going to infuse our economy, if you will, for a very, very short period of time. But they're not going to hang around with the games that they've been hanging around with. So that's why I believe we are really here. And that's just my theory.
Thank you, Elmer. Go rest those vocal cords. Get a Crown and Coke and Crown, or Jack and Crown. I don't care.
Just bring me to the liquor store, and we'll just decide from there, okay?
Elmer, it was nice finally talking to you.
Thanks, Elmer.
You all have a good day.
Okay, man, we need to get Jerry a Blue Moon. He's like crabby.
He's shaking.
Anyway, man, oh man. I wanted to just say, okay, for our, let's just call it Exchange 101, our call tomorrow. We'll go over this of what IKO and Elmer are talking about for the beginners, because it's really important. And I'm sure this little bit of conversation, you probably didn't quite get what this all means. So we'll put that in our little call tomorrow, okay? So now, do we have any more questions for Martha and IKO?
Kelly.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kelly. Oh, smack me around, Kelly.
KLE. It's KLE.
I know. Sorry, I was talking to you.
Okay, well, this is never addressed. And if the yuan is already asset-backed, that means that we will probably be asset-backed also. And if that's the case, is our currency worth anything at that point?
Well, that has been bantered about. I don't think if the yuan is going to come out asset-backed, I don't believe the USD will be. It's going to take a little bit for them to get to that point. And it'll be a short period of time, 48, 72 hours. It was easy to take us off of the gold standard. Yep, we're off the gold standard. Everything Cadillac right along, and prices started going up from there. It gets back on the gold standard is a reverse process, and it's going to be a little painful in the beginning. So I don't believe that we're going to be asset-backed right from jump.
Okay, let's say it takes 2 days, and somebody wasn't able to get there in 2 days, and it's asset-backed. What happens to them? Their currency is not worth anything?
I don't know. That's a Martha question.
I actually had is IKO still there? My question, actually, and I meant to ask Elmer, is what happens we go to the bank and it is asset-backed because we walk out of the bank with the new notes? All right?
We're still going to get the rate.
Okay, will it still be the 6-to-1 then?
No.
No, it won't be. It'll be 1-to-1.
That's correct, but we'll still get the rate. We'll still get the $3.91, whatever it's going to be.
Okay.
We'll still get the 47 cents, etc.
Yeah, but by them releasing the new note, supposedly those should be asset-backed. Correct? Or am I missing? Am I getting confused?
The answer is yes, but it's too late for that.
It is at this point, yeah.
It is. God only knows how many weeks or even months it's going to take for that.
For them to straighten that out. Okay.
Yeah.
But, and IKO and Martha, correct me if I'm wrong, but what we're talking here basically is a quick turn asset play, a currency play.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah.
We got 48 hours maybe to do this. And basically we're just doing like a dinar play, but it's a 48-hour thing.
Right.
Okay.
And my philosophy on all of it is if we just walk away with asset-backed dollars and we're complaining, shame on us.
Shame on us is right.
You know, I mean, I don't know. It's one of my pet peeves. It drives me wild that that people are worried about, you know, whether they got $100 million or $1 billion when they got nothing. It just drives me crazy. So,
Kaylee,
that's my personal peeve.
Question for IKO.
Go ahead, Kaylee.
Hey,
okay,
Kelly.
Hi, IKO. Someone just texted me and reminded me that someone had said we would take a haircut of 30 to 40%, but I was thinking that meant as far as I was thinking that meant something else. So my question is, you just said that if we are asset backed and then we exchange into our U.S. dollars, at that point, we'll still get the rate, even though we're asset backed?
And there's no haircut.
Okay.
There's no haircut.
So that 30 to 40%, I think, must mean the value. Well, no, the value is going to be going up because we'll be at parity.
No, it'll go down.
Oh, it'll go down.
The 30
okay.
to 40% was last year's. That, you know, to be flippant about it, that's so 2015. You know.
Okay. You're right.
This is Dreamweaver. Can I jump in for a minute?
The end result is...
Hey, let KLE finish.
The end result is it is what it is, and we're to do our best to get in there, and whatever it is, it is.
Yeah, you know what a great analogy is? You know the Bourne Identity movies? You know how Matt Damon walks?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, there's something out there, and I'm going right there. That's how you got to act when this thing goes.
Focused.
You got to be purposeful, deliberate, but also cool and collected.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Okay, who wanted to jump in? You can jump now.
This is Dreamweaver. Hi.
I do.
Okay.
Me too.
I just wanted to make a comment on the discussion that's been going on. And this is in my humble opinion. I think the United States would prefer us to exchange into fiat because it's more dollars that are going into the bank. Once we have that money that's in the bank, when we go to asset-backed, it's going to be dollar for dollar. So we're actually bringing more value into the country, and going forward, that's going to help the United States in its recovery process. I have a slightly different opinion about how we'll go asset-backed or not asset-backed. I've been listening to everybody saying that they think that it's going to be a play of 48 hours to 72. I believe that we will move towards asset-backed. That's why it's going to be a bumpy ride, and the currency will devalue. But as they suck more and more of those dollars out of the system, those fiat dollars out of the system, and the total amount of total dollars in our economy shrinks, it will make our dollars worth more and allow them to come up. So we will, as long as people after the fact are leaving those dollars in the bank and not going crazy and spending them, what will happen is those dollars will continue to go up in value as we transition into a fully asset-backed system, in my opinion. Thank you.
It's an excellent opinion.
Thank you. Thank you. Was there somebody else?
Yes, this is Nahavi.
Yes, me.
This is who?
Patty. But I'll wait for her.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I add somebody to the list, please?
Sure.
Imperium, if you're out there, would like to add you to the list.
Oh.
Who did you say, Jer?
Imperium.
Oh, yay, Imperium. I love Imperium.
I know who that is.
Oh, you know who we haven't heard from, Jerry? Little Mary Sunshine. Is he waiting to the end to, like, ruin our weekend?
MIA. MIA.
Okay, ma'am, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Whoever was, I couldn't hear your name, but you know who you are.
This is Nahavik.
Oh, Nahavik. Okay, go ahead, Nahavik.
All right, so hypothetically, we go in and exchange, and we want to buy the Chinese currency or the Swiss, and they say, well, your account isn't active for 2 days or 3 days. Well, then we pass the window. Will that happen? Or could it happen?
IKO, are you there? Because I can't answer that one at all.
IKO, can you answer that?
Hold on. Can you hear me, or do I need to?
Well, I can hear you, IKO.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm down in the basement.
Well, at least you're not in the room where your mother-in-law's doing her thing.
That's true. Hold on. Climbing up the stairs here. I got to ask you a personal question. We'll do it by range. Are you walking in with more than $100 million?
Yes, or right after.
Okay. Then you just look them straight in the eye and you say, I need to buy you one right now. Or I'm going down the road to wherever, Chase, Bank of America, Fifth Third, wherever you are in the country. You are, you guys,
in control. Okay, so
in
you
control,
told me,
and not arrogant or rude, but definitely in control. Yeah.
But when we were talking on a call or two back, when you were the main speaker, you said that there was no way if I bought $100 million. Hypothetically, say it's going to go for $460. That was a figure we listed. So I've got hypothetically $500 million, and I want to buy 100 million Chinese currency. There's no way I can leave there with a car that will hold it, you said.
No,
yeah, that's true.
Either. Yeah.
That's true.
So am I
it's
safe
going to be a
to take
digital transaction.
Pardon me?
It'll be a digital transaction.
Okay, and they'll give me a piece of paper.
Yeah, they'll give you paper for that.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Nahavik.
You're welcome.
Okay, who is next?
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, you go and then Imperium.
Hey. Oh, God, eat all day. Or yeah, we poop twice, eat all day. I can only stay with 12 more. How's that? So before we get him back in the home. So they can only have about 4 hours.
I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
The 12th or 15th of February permanently. And she'll be in. So, I go do what I gotta do. Okay. They'll be back then. What they told.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Can you call back in because I can't understand what you're saying, and we'll pick you up when you come back in. So let's go with Imperium right now. Go ahead, Imperium. Imperium, are you there? Imperium? Jerry?
I was just taking a shot in the dark that he was listening out there, and I was just trying to bring him in. I'm sorry. I thought he was out there.
Okay. Anybody else?
What happened to Patty?
Who was the gentleman who just spoke up?
Hawkeye.
Buckeye?
Yes, ma'am.
Buckeye, and then who was the lady? Patty?
Where did she go? Okay.
Wasn't there a lady right after Buckeye?
Yeah.
Okay, well, go ahead, Buckeye.
I just need the address to the internet to get on y'all's line. That's all I need.
Wait a minute, ma'am. You're going to have to get in line. What's your name?
Oh, Spirit.
Spirit?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You're after Buckeye.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, Buckeye, go ahead.
Two questions for IKO. First question is, if you had extra money to spend, would you spend it on the yuan or the Iranian rial?
Oh, good. No brainer for me on the yuan.
Gotcha. Second question: which is the
web? This way, it's double the return right off the bat. So.
Okay, I appreciate your opinion on this, and thank you for answering my question. And my last question, because I know there's other people out there, what is the website to track the ships?
Oh, it's marinewatch.com.
Thank you so much.
Yep, and just so you know, when you get on, you can do the basic functions. You can zoom around. You can check different parts of the world, but you're going to see everything. You're not going to be able to apply any filters, so it gets a little confusing. For $135, you can start to apply filters. That's all. That's just a warning. When you get on, it might be a little confusing at first, but you can deal with the free version. The free version gives you a real good idea what's going on.
I greatly appreciate that, and I want to thank you for everything that you have brought on to the site, all your intel. I want to thank Martha and everybody else, and I have a gut. I mean, my personal opinion. I mean, I'm not a guru or anything, but my personal opinion, I'm saying Wednesday, Thursday of next week.
Thank you, Buckeye.
Would you please repeat the website?
Okay, Spirit, come on in.
Give her the website, Blondie.
Jerry, are the questions going to get any harder?
For you,
I have to
probably.
go look at... Okay, it is. I have to pull it up because I don't have it. It is WS. Okay, so Walter, Sam, Oscar, Mary, Nancy, .activeboard.com. So that's Wilma, Sam, Oscar, Mary, Nancy, .activeboard.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Question?
Go ahead, ma'am. And who are you?
This is Ellie.
Ellie,
my
go
question,
ahead.
Is do you have any suggestions for where to go, what either banks or countries to exchange if you are located outside the U.S.?
No, I don't. We can only speak to what we can do here inside the U.S. and to give, personally, I think to give any information like that could put us in a little bit of predicament. Ma'am, I do apologize. I mean, I know Tony has talked about it, but I don't think we have anybody in here, and I'd like to stick within the continental U.S. to keep our heinies out of hot water.
And I'm going to jump in here. I want to make a suggestion, and I heard this, I think, from IKO and another guy that we really respect that really makes sense. Get into the bank, exchange your money, go home, have a martini or a blue moon, just in memoriam of Jerry, and relax till all of this shakes out. I don't get premature on all of this exotic investing. I don't mean exotic, but you need to be able to relax and get grounded again, because the emotional thing you're going to be wrapped up in for a while, and you need to have a clear head to start making these judgments. And none of us know kind of really what's really out there in this whole multiple the MCA accounts, the multiple currency accounts. You're not going to know that you're going to get one until you get to the bank. And just like IKO said, when you have all that money, you're going to be able to do that. And you're going to be able to do it at the bank right then and there on this yuan transaction. And that's pretty much what he's talking about for right now. But in my opinion, that's what I'm going to do. How about that? I'm going to get my money exchanged, get it in the bank, get the yuan transaction done if it's available. If it's not available, well, we missed out, but boy, did we make a killing, didn't we? How much money do we need? But anyway, so that's just my thought. So I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, anybody else have a question? Okay, well, then we can wrap this segment of the show up, and we are deeply, deeply thankful for our guests, Martha and IKO, and your time and your knowledge, and we certainly do appreciate it, and we absolutely expect you to be on our next show should we have to have one. Now, let's just hope we don't. And do either of you have any parting comments? IKO or Martha?
No. I guess it's just a matter of just watch and wait and see what happens here over the weekend.
IKO?
Yeah, I'm going to say have a good life.
You guys have a good weekend. And we're not ending the call because I have a few things to say. But, Jerry, go ahead.
If I was a little grumpy today, I want to apologize. I've just had one of them days, and it's Blondie's fault. Yeah, putting up with men shit. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Hey, you don't have to be politically correct, right?
That's right.
I'm far from that. I am honored to have everybody on the call tomorrow at noon Eastern, 11 Central. We're going to have the Beginner 101 call. We're going to record it, and we'll put it in a forum so everybody can go back and listen to it. And I'll be much better tomorrow, I promise.
You bet your ass you will be, buddy.
Ooh.
For the hammer's going to swing, buddy.
It's been swinging all day long.
Hi, this is
my text. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. This is Lightstream. That Marine Watch, is it marinewatch.org? Because marinewatch.com says this site is for sale.
I don't know.
Did I go? I'll tell you what. Let me go on the computer.
Sorry, it's marinetraffic.com.
Oh, Marine Traffic. Thank you so much.
Pardon me. Okay. It was Marine Watch once upon a time.
Martha, you've been extremely wonderful to put up with me today. Thank you. IKO, you too. I'm not even talking to Hammer because while I'm talking, she's blowing my text up. I won't repeat what she was saying. It was not pretty.
Okay, Jerry, are you finished?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Thank you, IKO and Martha. I just have a couple of things that I would like to share with the room. I happened to get on. I couldn't sleep last night, all excited, blah, blah, blah. And I was on the History Channel. And this was the weirdest thing. This series was going on, and it's called Brad Meltzer's Decoder. And they were at Fort Knox. They're tracking our gold. And I'm listening to the conversation that they're having, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is like so pertinent to what, this whole, our whole subject matter here. And I was on at just the last 2 minutes, and, it's like a series, which I'm recording, but I'm going to go find. But I thought, this is just too crazy that this would be on. And they're kind of taking bets whether the gold's in Fort Knox, and, it's going to be the whole buildup. They're going to open Fort Knox and see if there's any gold in there. So anyway, I wanted to pass that on, and it's called Brad Meltzer's, MELTZER 'S, Decoder. And the subject is Fort Knox. So that might be something, you might want to look at. And another movie that you might want to look at, which when I first got into this a couple of years ago, is a movie called, it's not a movie, it's a documentary, and it's called Thrive, THRIVE, and you can watch it free. It's on thrive.com, and it's the first 20 minutes is a little arduous, hard to watch, but then it's really, really compelling. And I was on another chat room and, suggested this one, and people came back and they couldn't believe it. They're like, thank you for telling us about this. This was just an awesome, awesome documentary. And it's very apolitical, unlike me, but it's really, really eye-opening. And once they get over the kind of the scientific stuff, you won't want to shut it off. So I wanted to share that with you. And then I want to again reiterate, I am not that Blondie. Okay, if you see a Blondie post anywhere, that is not me. Also, I've been having several calls. Are you Pam? I am not Pam. I am not Pam. Okay? So just get that out of your heads. I am not Pam. So there's that. And then I had another note. I just kind of wanted to throw this out. Some of, in the chat room, occasionally there's some like barbs on the gurus and blah, blah, blah. I think we all kind of need to face it. No one, not one, has been right yet. And so kind of throwing these stones at these gurus, it's sort of pointless, because we could throw it at anybody that we even think that, they have this great knowledge. They could be our most respected guru. They haven't hit it yet either. And clearly, our favorite gurus are based in fact, but I just wanted to throw that out there to just give them a break. We're at the end of this, and, just quit wasting your time on this. It's positive. It's happening. Accept the fact that it's happening. We're just waiting our turn. And that's that. And so that was Blondie's bit. And now I'm finished, and there you have it.
One more thing. For everybody, this is the playback number. It has not changed. It's 641-715-3589. The only thing that changes, and the access code is the same, just like you're calling in for the Wing It call. The only thing that changes is a reference number for each call. So that's 641-715-3589. And then the reference number, and I'm not sure which one will be for today. I got a PM about that. Somebody put in admin's access code by accident on the end of our replay number. I don't know who that was, so I hope that addresses it. And I see the banners up here for tomorrow on the home page for the website for our call tomorrow. that's it.
Okay, well, everybody, thanks for joining us, and so much thanks to Martha and IKO Ward and Jerry. I love you. Anyway.
Well, that's it. Everybody, see the beginner or the beginner call tomorrow, and the next Wing It call, if we have no RV, will be Monday at 2:30 or 3:30 Eastern.
But
Talk
everybody
later.
Pray we're not here on Monday.
All right, goodbye.
See you. Bye.